Okay, episode 9. So, yeah, moving on to the next island. We meet Usopp. And, it's the guy with the big nose, kind of looks like Pinocchio, so he tells lies a lot. And, but that's kind of like a really nice story or character thing where it's like, oh, there's the wealthy girl who's like really sick or something, and like he just shows up to make up really interesting stories and make her happy, and that's pretty nice. I mean, everything's nice so far. Obviously something's gonna happen, whatever, with the waiter dude or the butler dude or that guy, or something's gonna happen. This whole episode was kind of set up, and it's just like, well, you got to keep watching because it's like, so what's gonna happen. And yeah, I will say this is the first episode where it's like a bit of filler in the sense of like, hey, you already did that section where they were, what was it? They were like, oh yeah, Luffy just being like, guns aren't for threats, they're for action. And, then it holds on Usopp. Continue aiming. Still aiming. Then there must have been a commercial break or something, like when they showed it on TV. And then it's like, they cut back and it's like, you know, guns aren't for threats, they're for action. Can you use it? Continue aiming, still aiming. And it's like, okay, that'll pad out the runtime. And it's like, okay, you know, it's like, I get if they were holding for dramatic effect, but it's like, any day now, something, but I don't know, anime and all that. Um, yeah, you got the little kids. Again, the similarities with Naruto at the time with like, because Konohamaru was in the second episode where Naruto had to make friends with a real little kid, and Usopp's got the real little kids hanging out with him. I guess it's okay, Luffy takes such drastic actions where it's like, hey, let's just like, launch ourselves into the mansion area to ask for a boat and stuff, and it's like, yeah. Also, I guess Usopp's dad was in Shanks' army, or Shanks' pirate crew, and all that. I just, I don't know if it's gonna come back to that. It's just when they tell stories. Right now, my thoughts are like, when his Usopp's dad was like drinking and being like, "Yo, I love my kids so much, but it broke my heart to leave. But I had to be a pirate." And it's like, yeah, I'm sure it really broke your heart to like abandon your son. I don't know, where it's like, you got to chase after your dream and all that. It's like, okay, even like leaving your kids behind. I don't know. I don't know if they're gonna return to that or if that's gonna be something they'll like explain more. It's just like, all right, real quick, that's just something that's always been on my mind. Like in America's Got Talent, this is so random, but like years and years ago, there was that French dancer, not that one, different one. He was cool. I liked his thing. That character has that performer has pop. They kept building up like his dramatic thing because you have to have those in Got Talent videos, and his whole thing was like it's just been really hard. I'm from France or whatever, and I had to leave my kids behind to chase after my American dream. It's so hard to like leave them behind, but had to chase after my American dream, and it's like kind of an a-hole move on your part, dude, where it's like, it's really hard to like be video chatting. I don't know. Again, I don't know. Do people like just leave their kids behind? I don't know. You know. Anyway, that's pretty random. So, yeah, this episode was all just a lot of setup mostly. Something also, what's up with Luffy and like meat? That doesn't make any sense. Again, I guess his life of like just indulgence and just doing what he wants to do. But it's like, gonna go back to Dragon Ball Z because obviously this is all inspired from Dragon Ball Z. It's got a Dragon Ball type feel. If you go back to Dragon Ball, the first 20 episodes where it's just like hitting different towns as they're looking for the Dragon Balls, you know, it's got that kind of feel. And I like that. I like that they're just going to different islands right now, doing stuff on their journey. That's pretty awesome. Um, but yeah, okay, Goku eating a ton of food. That made sense. Also, he was a Saiyan. I guess that's not. I don't know. It just made sense that Goku was all about food all the time, and just I don't know. Somehow that made sense. And Naruto with ramen. that made sense. Also, he didn't even know it, but there was like that emotional connection. Well, that he knew that because like Iruka Sensei always took him there, so you got that it was his favorite thing. So he loved eating ramen for like the emotional connection, but also like, oh, it turned out he was named after like, or the name came to, you know, creation when Jiraiya was sitting there eating ramen. It all ties together. I don't know, and like Luffy and like eating meat and all that. It's just like I don't know. I don't know. That just bothers me a bit. It feels like it was just thrown in there of like because you know the editors were like, no, the main character's got to be obsessed with food or something. All right, he's into meat, and I get maybe I'm thinking way too hard about it. I don't know, because like in Fairy Tale, that's something that I want to talk about a lot too. Is Fairy Tale. I haven't finished that. I really only got to episode 90. Need to finish that at some point. I don't know. That made sense. Just I don't know. Like because Natsu was into like eating and all that stuff too, but like I don't know. I feel like if Luffy was more like Natsu, that would be awesome because Natsu is an awesome character. Like that's more like what I think like a crazy, energetic, like main character dude who's sometimes serious is about. Um, I don't know, just something about because Natsu's always using fire. It makes sense. It's kind of like the Flash, where like the Flash eats like 35 hamburgers in one sitting, or he's like, "How do you take your coffee? Cream and 37 sugars." No, really, you know. And it's like because he's the Flash, he's running all the time and all that. His metabolism and the same with Natsu, the fire and all that. Yeah, how does Luffy being made of rubber affect him wanting meat, or it's just he's really into meat? I don't know. I'm talking about this for way too long. Um, yeah. What else to talk about? Yeah, I'm just curious what's gonna happen. You know, we saw that guy at the very end of the episode. I'm just curious what's gonna happen. There was some good setup here. It's like, all right, well, I gotta know what's gonna happen here because clearly something's gonna happen. And I'm into it. You know, also just because you know when you watch, they show the screenshots or the ads for the current season and season right now. Luffy's got like white hair. I guess he went Ultra Instinct or something, and it's like so clearly stuff happens beyond like this. Okay, really chill, you know, low consequence, like just going to different islands of small towns. Clearly, it you know, it escalates from there over the course of the story, and I guess that's what I'm curious about most. They've kind of improved a little bit. Luffy had that really little boat, but now they've got Captain Buggy's other boat, so they've got like two tiny boats, and they're trying to get a really big ship now, or something, or a big boat, or something. All right, and yeah, making progress.